listening to the Reckless Takes Podcast, covering sports, lifestyle, and nearly everything in between. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time to get reckless.
Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by FreezerSports.com. Whether you are a new or experienced sports gambler, if you have not used a consultant site, you are missing out. FreezerSports.com utilizes advanced machine learning technology to predict sporting events and find you value lines. Visit the website today, that's FreezerSports.com, to view their predictions from their NHL, NBA, and MLB models, all for free. Yes, for free. FreezerSports.com.
Shut up and sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Reckless Takes Podcast. My name is Kyle. I am your co-host, and I am here with my boy,
Randy, aka the Giblet King. A chicka chicka wow wow.
All right. And we are joined by frequent guest Joshua Ortiz. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Good to be here.
This is going to be I'm excited for this one. This is probably the last NBA episode for a while before we start jumping into football content here. But it's going to be a loaded one because we're going to do free agency grades for each team. We each took 10 of them. We just divided and conquered. We're going to go down the list one by one and just talk about some of the signings and how we'd evaluate them. Who wants to start?
You know what? Are we doing?
Let's do this. Let's
Oh,
real quick.
Daddy.
Sorry, real quick. Let's list our teams. Josh, you want to list the teams that you had?
Yes, I had the Phoenix Suns, the Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles Clippers, Dallas Mavericks, Chicago Bulls, Sacramento Kings, Denver Nuggets, Oklahoma City Thunder, Timberwolves, and the Memphis Grizzlies.
I had the Orlando Magic, the Golden State Warriors, the New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs, which me and Josh coin flipped for, the Washington Wizards, Atlanta Hawks, 76ers, the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, and the Raptors.
So Daddy had the Celtics, the Nets, the Cleveland Cavs, the Bucks, the Pacers, the Hornets, the Heat. You know, the best team in the league, the Trailblazers, the Utah Jazz, and then the second best team, the Houston Rockets.
I tried to give everyone an equal amount of exciting teams. I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
No,
I would say so.
I think
I don't
everyone
think
got.
so.
You don't like your teams?
So when I was doing my notes and stuff, bro, none of my teams really made nothing splashy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really consider that. I was more
The
considering
move aspect.
I was more considering the caliber of teams. I was like, all right, he's got the Nets, he's got the Hornets, the Heat. The Heat were fun. The Heat made.
Oh yeah,
some
that
good
was it. Yeah, that was it. But it's okay. I liked what I did. I mean, I liked what I researched.
Cool. All right, let's get into it. Josh, you want to go first? Just do. You can just go top of the list, however you want to. Really, it doesn't matter.
Sure. So the Phoenix Suns, based on their free agency moves, they signed Chris Paul to a 4-year, $120 million deal. Campaign 3-year, $19 million. They got front court depth with McGee at 1 year, $5 million. Nader 2-year, 4.2, and they re-signed Kaminsky to a 1-year, $2.1 million. I gave the Suns a B+, simply just because of the continuity. I think that they needed depth at the front court. It's a little bit of an overpay for Chris Paul. I mean, he is getting up there in age, but I think I saw that there's some stretchability in the last couple of years of his contract. So not too bad there, but
Yeah,
they're
it's
bringing
also
back the same team.
It's also non-guaranteed in the 4th year and a partial guarantee on the 3rd.
So that just helps the Suns. That just helps them with their cap space. I like that they got Campaign back. He contributed well in the finals. I mean, I think he can do more. But I like the McGee pickup probably the most. Besides re-signing Chris Paul. Re-signing Chris Paul is definitely the best one. But I like DeAndre Ayton help. So I give him a B+. I think that was fair.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree that McGee's huge. What was his deal again? What was the number? You have it?
He got a 1-year, $5 million deal.
Yeah, dude, that's perfectly fine. And you're not gonna have Sarge back for any if very little of next season. And from having Kaminsky be your backup all season just isn't going to cut it. So yeah, I agree. I like that.
And Kaminsky played decently well in the minutes that he had in the finals. I mean, he didn't play like amazing.
He's a placeholder.
Well, so yeah,
I think that McGee is going to be really important for having, like you said, continuity in the way they play when Ayton is not on the floor. I think you can play a lot of the same basketball that with McGee that you could with Ayton. So yeah, it's really cool. All right, Randy, what do you got?
So my first team, I got the Boston Celtics. They've only signed one player. They traded for a player. So they signed Enes Kanter to a 1-year deal of $2.7 million, and then they traded for Josh Richardson. So I put down the players they lost, like key players. So they lost Kemba Walker in a trade, and then they lost Evan Fournier. And then I took the guy that I think they should go after is definitely Dennis Schroeder. So when you lose a guy like Kemba, you lose a guy like Evan, who else are you going to rely on? You're not going to rely on Marcus Smart. You're not going to rely on Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave the Celtics a grade of a C-. I don't really like what they've done so far. You lose Brad Stevens. Well, you didn't lose him, but he's not your head coach.
Yeah.
And then you lose two big guards.
I'm a huge Ime Udoka guy, though, by the way. So I love Ime Udoka as their head coach.
Yeah. And then, you lose two big guards who I think made them better. Obviously, the Celtics are in like a little thing where they make the playoffs, but they can't get it done every single year.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep Jason Tatum and you don't want Jason Tatum to, be one of those guys that wants to trade, you got to bring talent. And right now they haven't brought nobody yet. Enes Kanter's a good sign. He knows the players and stuff, but you need to go out and get somebody else. C-.
They were interesting. I think that so I've been hearing a lot about them, and the consensus is everyone has just kind of agreed they're waiting for something. They're waiting for them, and the Knicks are the prime, like whoever wants to get traded, let us know, and we'll go get
Boston
you.
wants Beal so bad. Like Boston
do.
Twitter wants Beal so bad.
Yeah.
And during this whole free agency, like Boston Twitter has been miserable. Like
Yeah.
they got Enes Kanter back.
It's
after
crazy.
he flip-flops from Portland and Boston so often.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have to agree with the low grade. I mean, as much as I think that
for sure.
in the end, it could be like, wow, it's a good thing they saved this space because this happened. But until then, we kind of have to just be like,
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
like, what do the Celtics really need another scorer? Like, do they really need another ISO scorer like Beal or?
I really liked what Kemba could have been for them. So I think I don't think they need that, but I think that I like the idea of it because, like, man, if Kemba had been as good as he should have been with them, I think him and Tatum would have complemented each other really well. And Jaylen Brown doesn't, need to have the ball in his hands. But I think I kind of see what you're saying. Like maybe someone, like a better fit would be someone like a Duncan Robinson, who like
someone who can be off ball.
Yeah.
Or like a JJ Redick.
Tatum and Brown just, dribble the air out of the ball. And I mean, they're amazing scorers, but
I actually really like that idea. I think I'm going to write some Duncan Robinson to the Celtics fan fiction when I get off here.
I don't know how much Schroeder helps them. I feel like Schroeder's going to I feel like he's kind of like an obvious signing for them because they have a point guard spot that they could fill.
Yeah.
But I don't know his fit on the team. I mean, we'll see.
I mean, I don't think they're going to sign him. I don't think they're going to make that move because obviously he's asking for way too much. He declined that big deal from the Lakers like an idiot.
If anyone in the world is panicking right now, it's Dennis Schroeder because he was hoping to be the, like the second point guard to come off the market. And he's like hoping for 20 million. He's probably going to be closer to, 8 or 9 at this point.
Yeah. It's looking like, he's coming to the Rockets.
I would have loved like Alonzo Ball in Boston. I think
yes.
Like
oh
a really
my God.
Good fit amongst Tatum and Brown.
That's great.
Just a defensive guard who can play make, doesn't need to score.
Yeah. Actually, I like that a lot. All right. This one's gonna be easy for me. I have the Magic. They have made one signing other than their draft picks, and that's Robin Lopez. So I'm actually gonna give this a more favorable grade than you would think, just because I don't think that the Magic needed to do anything. I don't think they went out and tried to make any big splashes because they have a bunch of young pieces already. You have everyone on their team that already has potential. You have your Isaac and your Cole Anthony and your Bombas, and then you get Jalen Suggs and Wagner, in the draft, and I don't think that you need to bring anyone else to take up those minutes. So I'm just going to give it a solid B, just for the willing to be complacent and roll with what you have. So not a whole lot to say there, but Magic a B for me.
Yeah, I like that grade. I
Sounds
mean,
fair.
they got Cole Anthony. They got a very young roster. They're a team that can definitely be one of those surprise teams next season. With you know how young teams are.
Yeah,
Sometimes they surprise the hell out of us.
I can see him in the play-in.
Yeah, I don't think they really needed to go out and get somebody. I mean, maybe a like veteran that can maybe lead them, but I like to be.
I think Robin Lopez is a solid vet for them. You know.
Oh yeah.
True. Very true.
But yeah, I think the Magic are a team that is like, see what you got, see what works, and then build around that, because you don't really know what works in Orlando yet.
Exactly. This season is just going to be,
be.
let's figure out what the hell we have here. Can Jalen Suggs lead a team or whatever? All right, Josh, what do you got?
All right, so I got the Los Angeles Lakers. They actually have the highest grade that I've given. I gave the Lakers an A+, simply just because they have a new big three, and they put great shooting around them with great value. You know, they got the Russ trade. They re-signed Taylor Horton Tucker 3 years, $32 million, which is a little questionable, but they're really high on him.
Yeah.
The Kendrick Nunn signing, I think, is really, really good for the Lakers. 2 years, $10 million. And then they got Ariza, Howard, Monk, Carmelo Anthony, Wayne Ellington, and Kent Bazemore, all on minimums. That's just great value.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just
Can't
great
go
value.
wrong.
I really have a kind of a reckless take here, but I really think that if this all works out for the Lakers, that Russ could be the best point guard that's played with LeBron. Not the most skilled point guard that's played with LeBron, but I feel like their energy just matches. I feel like they could really, work out with
I
all
don't know
that they
that
have around them.
2016 Kyrie, man. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean, Kyrie is definitely the most skilled player that LeBron's played with. Maybe, you can debate that with AD, but like as far as the point guard position, I just think Russ has that dog in him that Kyrie doesn't really show too much. I feel like Kyrie's got it in him, but
Yeah.
it's just not shown all the time. But I think this could really work out for the Lakers. What do you guys think?
We talked about it last week on the podcast. We think that if anybody's gonna set Westbrook straight, it's gonna be LeBron.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Lakers can be definitely scary. I know a lot of people are like, you're the retirement home of the league now. And I was like, y'all, you better watch the fuck up, because if
Yep.
LeBron is on it, AD's on it, Westbrook's on it, I just can't see nobody stopping them besides the Nets, really.
And I want to say Westbrook always has slow starts to the season. Like, his knees are bad. I think he gets injections in his knees every season to the start. And so he always has like a really slow start, and then he works his way towards the end. And he showed that in Washington. He had a slow start. He got them really like close to that play-in game. And then I really enjoyed his before COVID, before the shutdown of the league, his time in Houston. I thought they meshed well, and Russ was playing really good towards the end. So I'm excited for the Lakers. I think they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah. Same here. Who's next? Randy?
Patty. So I have the Nets. They have a pretty high grade for me. So they signed Blake Griffin to a 1-year, $2.6 million deal. Patty Mills to a 2-year deal for $12 million. They re-signed Bruce Brown for a 1-year deal for $4.7. And then they obviously re-signed KD to that massive 4-year, $198 deal. And then they brought in James Johnson.
Only $198?
Yeah, only.
It's great value.
And then they brought in James Johnson on that little 1-year deal. They lost Jeff Green and Spencer Dinwiddie. Guys, I think they should potentially look at maybe trade for Goran Dragic or Nerlens Noel, because you just don't know what's going to happen with Kyrie, obviously. And then who's their starting center right now? DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah, you have Jordan or Claxton or even Griffin if they want to go small.
Yeah, so I think Nerlens Noel could be a play. And then they drafted Cameron Thomas. I think the grade I gave him was an A. The roster was already good. And then adding a guy like Patty Mills, who I love Patty Mills.
On great fucking value.
Yep.
Insane.
And then you bring back Blake Griffin, who just looked really good last season. And then Bruce Brown and James Johnson, you're bringing back guys that you really like. Obviously, you lose Spencer Dinwiddie, But I think Patty Mills can be something for them. They're another team that I think is going to be really scary.
They definitely didn't answer any of their defensive woes
Yeah,
with signing Patty Mills, but Patty Mills is like an energy scorer who is just who really brings like camaraderie together of the team. So I think that's a good signing. But
and
I think the
you
Nets are
got
gonna be
James
the best.
Johnson, someone who's willing to do some dirty work for you. I think that's a really good signing for the team. Yeah, I think that they just kind of prove that if they can get through the regular season, that they can play defense in the playoffs. They played pretty
Yeah.
good defense against the Bucks when they were healthy.
They just need to stay healthy. That's what the
yeah.
Nets need to do. Harden, Irving, and Durant need to stay healthy because Team USA Durant, like that guy's going to be hard to stop, like in the playoffs.
It's just about making it through the season in one piece. And I
Yeah.
think they got some guys who can help them get there and keep their really big guys on ice.
I mean, they would have went to the finals if KD's toe wasn't fucking 20 inches.
Yeah,
I thought they were beating the shit out of the Bucks in the series that
they were
when they had their guys, but
yeah.
And I really thought, I'm like, okay, Nets are going, like from what I saw, Nets are going, but
And the way how hard the Bucks played and how they never gave up, it's really hard to do the whole like y'all should have lost kind of thing because they played so
that's
hard.
bullshit. Yeah,
But
that's bullshit, yeah.
but like it is like, they were down 2-0. They were getting their ass beat. So it would have been really interesting to see what had happened had they stayed healthy. All right, so I will go to the Warriors. Another one, nothing too sexy. They signed Otto Porter to a vet's minimum. Dude, I struggle with this one so much. Is this Bielitsa or is this
Yeah.
Okay, Bielitsa, yeah. I always struggle with that one. They and then obviously we already talked about their draft. I keep wanting to do their draft stuff, but no, the only real people that they brought in was Bielitsa and Otto Porter. I think that Otto Porter is a really good flyer. I feel like he had that $28 million contract for a few years, and so it was like he was getting really, really shit on because obviously he's not worth a quarter of that value. But you bring in someone like that who I think can be really a really good Wiggins replacement when he comes off the floor. I think that his game is pretty much mirrors Wiggins, and so you can kind of keep playing the way that he plays good defense. He has good size. He can shoot. I really like what he brings, and then same thing with Bielitsa. He's a stretch five. Can also play a little bit of four if you want to play with Wiseman. I think that just getting out of the paint, and because you already have Draymond and Wiseman who clogged that thing up, and so you can't have anyone else in there. It's not like you have any more room to breathe down there. So also they signed Curry to his massive max extension. So that's really promising because there was always in the back of everyone's mind, it was, y'all better keep going because, Curry's up in a year and you don't want to upset him. And so just to have that levity, same thing with Giannis. When Giannis resigned, it was like the Bucks could breathe and they could make their transactions with winning in mind and not with the idea of him leaving in mind. So, overall, I think I'm gonna give them a solid B as well, just because I don't think they did anything that. I think that most of the excitement for them is what they did for the draft and just Clay coming back. I think that they're going to be contenders, but not because of anything that they did here in free agency. So just a solid B for me.
They really didn't even need to really sign anybody.
No, I agree. Yeah.
If they have, Clay gets healthy, man, the Warriors are going to be back. So,
and I will say I'm really excited for Draymond next year. Dude, watching Draymond in the Olympics.
He's an exciting player. He's just an exciting player.
He played so well in the Olympics. I really thought that just with Pop's play style, that Adebayo was going to keep Draymond off the floor. But Adebayo was a complete liability towards the end of games, and Draymond had to be in there, and he was doing excellent for the offense. I thought he was in there for his defense, clearly, but dude, his dribble handoff game,
he's just so
incredible.
Smart.
He's so smart.
His basketball IQ is just so amazing.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see Draymond in like full try hard mode again, hopefully with Clay and Steph ready to go. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the Warriors at the top of the list again, hopefully.
No, they definitely will. No, hopefully they will.
I'm putting them one tier below the Lakers. but I can't say them about the Lakers. But yeah, top of the West is in like top 3 for sure. All right, Josh.
Alrighty, so I got the Los Angeles Clippers. I gave them an A, solid A. They brought back Kawhi Leonard. I mean, that's pretty much the reason I gave them an A. They got Kawhi Leonard to come back.
Has he officially signed or just like committed still?
I think it's committed. I'm not sure if it's confirmed, but I saw that he did resign, or that there was reports that
he made a big fuss about getting to LA. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's, when healthy, one of the best players. They obviously not going to have him for a large portion of next year, but I think they made good depth signings too. They brought back Reggie Jackson, who played great for them in the playoffs. 2 years, 21 mil. They got Batum back, who also played great all year. And then probably one of the best signing that I think they got away with is Justice Winslow on a 2-year deal. I think that's great, filler for Kawhi while he's hurt. Young player who I think hasn't really reached his full potential yet, hasn't really tapped into exactly what can make him great. But I like that Justice Winslow signing for the Clippers.
I do too. I think he's a great fill-in for Kawhi, and it's just as many people as you can. And I think my favorite thing about the Clippers was bringing back Reggie Jackson for good value for what he did. And I loved the whole story of how much Reggie loved the team for reigniting his career. And I thought that was a great story. And so it felt like losing him would have been a huge crush. Having no Kawhi and having no him, and it's basically just PG versus the world, which I don't think anyone would have thought would go very well. So yeah, I like what they did.
There's a lot of like talks about Jackson getting love from other teams, getting looks from other teams, but I like you said, that's with that emotional presser that he released after the season, kind of felt like he wouldn't leave the Clippers just based on how he felt. So
cool. Randy, what you got?
Oh, you want me to go already?
Yeah, you're next, sir.
I'm just kidding. So my next one, I got the Cavs. So they did sign Jared Allen to a big 5-year deal, and then they got Ricky Rubio in a trade. I like the Ricky Rubio move just because you want to see him and Kevin Love back together. They didn't lose anybody, and they really don't fucking have anybody.
Yeah, are people saying that? Are people like, man, I can't wait for the Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio reunion?
No, that was like a big thing on Twitter. The Timberwolves boys are coming back.
Let's get the 2014 T-Wolves back together.
Kevin Love looks like fucking Reed Richards out here, man.
Bro, Kevin Love. Thank God Kevin Love didn't go to the Olympics, man. We wouldn't have the gold right now.
Fucking A.
Because Pop wouldn't be able to keep a white guy on the bench. He's like, all right, get him in there.
Cavs still haven't traded Colin Sexton.
Nope.
No, I really don't think they're going to. I think that drafting Mobley kind of sealed the deal for that.
Yeah. And then guys, I think they should go after Lauri Markkanen. I think they should make a trade for him. And then Danny Green, bring in a veteran guy that can play some defense. Maybe he'll bring the Spurs magic to them for back in the old days. But I did give him a grade of a C. They didn't make any moves. And for the Cavs, I feel like ever since LeBron left, Kyrie left, no one talks about the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
No, they get no love. The Sexland backcourt gets no love.
No fucking love. And Sexton's a fucking great player. I mean, he can score it up.
He can score. I think Danny Green actually re-signed in Philly.
Did he?
Yeah.
I was trying to look it up. I didn't see shit on Danny Green.
He did. Yeah, he did. And it was a pretty good deal, actually.
Wow. Well, fuck me.
Sorry, Cavs.
Cavs, no Danny for you. But
Danny Green.
I think the Cavs were probably like one of the most boring teams I've researched. They didn't do shit. It doesn't look like they're looking to do shit. Maybe they want to get the next LeBron James in the draft. I don't know. But yeah, I give him a C.
What do you think about that Allen contract? I mean, 5 years, what is it, 100? 100 mil?
Let me look.
I
got it written down. Yeah, it's like one something. Let me go. Oh, yeah, 100 mil, 5-year, 100 mil. I thought that was freaking huge, but I guess they like him. He must be a good fit for him, even though he should be a Houston Rocket, but it's cool. We fucked that up.
Yeah, I feel like Jared Allen's like a good player. I don't feel like he's an elite rim protector. So it's a little much for him and his skill set. But I mean, they seem to be high on him. They're gonna play Mobley and Allen together. It looks like they have no quarrels with that. So
I really like Mobley though. I thought he was a stud. And I really like Mobley, but obviously I'm still giving that C because they fucking suck. But it's cool.
nice.
All right. I have the Wizards next.
Damn.
So the Wizards, the biggest deal, obviously, was trading away Russell Westbrook for KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma. I believe I missed writing down the picks. But I think they also sent a first round. The Lakers also sent a first round pick as well. They also acquired Spencer Dinwiddie in a sign and trade with the Nets. About 3 years, $20 million for Dinwiddie, which I think fantastic. I think that I know it's been a couple of rough injuries for Dinwiddie, but man, in that season when D'Angelo Russell really took off for the Nets, I think that Dinwiddie was better for the team, and I think that he contributed more to winning basketball than Russell ever did. I think that Dinwiddie probably should have been their all-star selection over Russell. But I mean, I love what he can bring as your guy when Beal's off the floor. I think that he also complements Beal really well. Man, I kind of like this team for like the 7 to 10 range. I think that, you know, everyone's kind of talking about this, like, did this really help you with Beal's favor toward you? But I think it might have, because I love Kuzma. I'm a huge Kuzma guy. I really think that he can be a contributor to winning basketball. And so I feel like this team it's nothing sexy, but I really feel like there's something here. They also got Aaron Holiday, who's a nice complimentary piece. Yeah, I really, really like what this team did. I'm gonna give them an A-, just because I don't think they made any crippling moves. I don't think they did anything that you're gonna look down the line, even if this team doesn't work out. Say this team missed the playoffs. I don't think you're like, man, you really fucked yourself there, because they got Russ Westbrook. It didn't work out as well as they hoped it did, and they flipped it for more pieces. And you have to stem this all back to the John Wall deal, right? You had that disgusting John Wall contract, and you turned it into someone who helped you make a late playoff push, and then you flipped them around for a couple of young assets and a draft pick, you know.
And Dinwiddie's getting $20 million over 3 years, right? Not like 3 years.
He's getting 3 years, 3 years, $60 million.
Yeah. I really love the move. You know, I like Bill. I think after the all these trades and signings, I think Bill said, "I'm here to stay in Washington." Even though
he does not seem like he wants to leave at all.
He loves living there. He just straight up loves it there.
Even though Kuzma made like a semi-gay post about it, he's a sus guy.
Randy has to always make at least one non-PC joke per episode.
Like, I feel like
even though Kuzma's kind of gay.
I mean, I hope he plays good, but then I hope he doesn't, because I traded the PSA 10 card. But I mean, I like your grade. I like the Wizards. Obviously, you know, I really liked them last year. I thought they were going to be.
I think they're going to be surprised. They scored like at a really high rate last year. They were like one of the better scoring teams in the league. And then, you know, with their draft pick, you know, adding Kisper, like a 3-point specialist, that's just, you know, you're stretching the floor real well. So
I think it was just inevitable that wherever Kuzma went, I was going to give them at least an A-. Like, I love Kyle Kuzma, man. I have since the beginning. I just think it's insane that people have given up on this guy. And he's 6'7", 6'8". He's slender. He's a nice frame. He's just like he's a scorer. I think the lowest possible floor for him is like a 6th or 7th man on a championship team. And obviously I say that he's literally done that. He was that in 2019.
That's the thing with people. They give up on young NBA players so quickly.
Way too fast.
And once they're not even like in their bag yet, you know?
Exactly. And it's like, look, dude, people don't understand that, like, they're holding everything to the standard of LeBron, KD. And I'm like, you realize these guys are about to age out of the league, right? Like, someone's going to take their place. We don't know
going to change.
We don't know who it's going to be yet. You know, obviously there's a few that we know. There's Tatum and Luka. We know those guys are going to take their spot, but you realize that we still have to have a top 20 without Chris Paul, LeBron, KD, Westbrook in it, right? We still have to have a top 20. And I think these kind of guys like Kuzma are the ones that are going to be there. And maybe not the high end, but middle to low end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just fucking love Kyle Kuzma. I could do a whole podcast about him.
Next week. Next week.
Yeah, next
The
week's
Kyle
Kyle
Kuzma
Kuzma
episode?
week. All right, Josh, take it away.
I mean, shitty ass
All right, I got
haircut.
I got the Dallas Mavericks here. I give the Dallas Mavericks a C plus. They really had no signings to really alleviate any stress that Luka has with playmaking. They re-signed Tim Hardaway Jr. to 4 years, $72 million. They got Reggie Bullock for 3 years, $30 million, and they signed Sterling Brown for 2 years, $6 million. All contributors, like all guys that can help. But I think there's something missing in Dallas. I think Luka needs a little bit more help. I think he needs more playmaking help more than anything. But C plus, didn't really move the needle. They got. I would say they got better a little bit, but not enough.
Not by much at all. And I think that when they fell out of the running for Lowry, that it just kind of fell apart. And it was one of those things where when you roll the dice like that and you're waiting for one guy and he doesn't go your way, you're kind of fucked because everyone else has already been agreeing, especially with this whole like tampering thing that's clearly happening. Everyone's agreeing to deals a week in advance. So when you're spending that whole week fighting for Kyle Lowry, sorry, dude, literally every other player has already agreed to a deal. And like Bryn Forbes is what's left. So like have fun.
Can we get the tampering check on Sterling Brown's contract? Because that came out like 24 hours before it was.
Well, the funniest fucking thing is we'll get to it. But the very first thing announced was which one was it? There was
I thought it was Lonzo was the first.
Lonzo.
Yes, Lonzo.
Yeah, Lonzo.
Yeah, at 6:01 p.m. there was a 3-team trade announced. It's like, wait, what? Like they got on the phone at 8:00 and were like, "Hey, buddy, like let's fucking get this going," and called it into the league a minute later. That one was so clearly. I mean, it's being investigated by the NBA as we speak because it's obviously fucking tampering. And I think that this one's weird because I was actually listening to a podcast about this. The whole Bucks thing. When Bogdanovich happened, they never got the player. So it's like no harm, no foul. And they still got a second round pick taken away. And so what are you going to do when they tampered, they got the player? Obviously, I don't think that they're going to rescind.
Take away first?
I don't think they're going to rescind the deals because that's mayhem. But because like now Lonzo doesn't have a team and everyone else has already taken their money.
No one's got money to sign.
Yeah, and so I think taking away a first in the future is like a very real possibility. But what are you gonna do, man? Like, you can't, because if you tell like these teams to all wait until 6:00, someone's gonna find a way to do it sneakily, and then they're gonna have a huge advantage. There's just
exactly.
You have to just.
I don't know how to combat it. I don't know how to combat this issue.
I think you don't. I think you just fucking let it happen.
It's like that in the NFL too.
Who's it hurting really? Like everyone has the ability to tamper. And if you don't do it, then that's great, but that's on you. I don't think anyone's really.
I feel like maybe if you get caught tampering during season, like during the actual season, there should be a high penalty. But like when there's no basketball going on,
what else are you gonna fucking do? These guys are literally just sitting in their office all day, trying to make their team better. Yeah. I agree. I think
Mavericks C plus. Mavericks Twitter is another Twitter that's been miserable this whole free agency.
Yeah, like I hope you're ready for Hardaway Jr. to continually be your second best player when Porzingis is sucking some ass.
So that's like every night. So fucking Porzingis, shitty ass player.
All right, Randy, what you got?
I got the NBA champions, the Milwaukee Bucks. So they signed Rodney.
They lost Bryn Forbes. F.
Hey, you watch your fucking mouth. So everybody that's listening, Kyle likes to bully me all the time, and it's cool. So they signed Rodney Hood, George Hill, Bobby Port. They resigned Bobby Portis, and then I'm gonna fuck this name up. Semi Ojalawa.
Semi Ojale. There you go.
Okay. Well, I'm white. So they lost Brent Forbes, and then they lost PJ Tucker.
Semi Ojalawa.
And I think they should try to acquire JJ Redick. I think he could work for them. I gave them a B plus because I just don't think their roster really needed that much. You got Chris Middleton, you got Giannis, you got Drew Holiday. I just think this team is still going to be competitive next year like they were this year. Obviously, losing a defensive player like PJ sucks, and then losing a shooter like Forbes. I mean, it is what it is. But I give them a B plus. I think they're a team that can definitely still make a lot of trade moves. But yeah, B plus for the NBA champs. They're not going to win it again anytime soon, but B plus.
All right.
Yeah, I think PJ Tucker hurts them. Like losing PJ Tucker hurts them.
I do too.
I
think he was a little overrated in the playoffs, but it's still just like, if nothing else, a locker room guy,
defense.
a locker room guy, and someone who does dirty work. And
he can hit, some corner threes here and there.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Couldn't even really do that.
He
couldn't really do that.
He was great at that in Houston, but I don't know. I can't remember a single 3-pointer being.
I feel like every time he took a corner three that I was watching, he missed it.
Yeah,
I know. It was sad days. I miss him.
It got pretty rough at the end, man. That 2018 PJ Tucker for Houston was something else, dude. That dude was nasty.
He was my daddy.
Everybody still wants PJ Tucker because of the 2018 PJ Tucker.
Yeah, exactly. They're clinging on to the idea. You don't love PJ Tucker. You love the idea of PJ Tucker.
He got a 2-year, $50 million deal because of that 2018 season.
Nice he did. Yeah, that's still nice.
And he's old as shit.
I really expected the Bucks to shell out a little more money. I think he wanted to stay there. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't end up in a bad place. So.
Yeah. All right. So it's my turn, right?
Yes, Dad. Yep.
Okay. I have the San Antonio Spurs. Where do I start with this? Okay. So I guess the biggest thing is
crying.
Just breaks.
They're sobbing.
I'm like, can we pause? So the biggest thing, obviously, is the sign and trade with the Chicago Bulls, which sent DeMar DeRozan to them for it was 3 years, $85 million, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs received Al-Farouq Aminu, Thaddeus Young, a first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Now, I think this is just as much as I hate to see DeMar go, it's a fantastic piece of business for the Spurs. I was fully expecting him to walk, and I was accepting of that. So the fact that if you had told me that we got DeMar DeRozan and that we got a first-round pick for him, I'd be happy.
That was like not going to happen. Everybody that was a Spurs fan we've been putting packages together for DeMar DeRozan for like 2 years, 3 years. So it was like no one comprehended that we were ever going to get a first round pick.
Yeah.
For DeRozan.
So we got a first round pick. Cool. We got 2 second round picks. Great. We got Thaddeus Young, who I love. I think that he can be a great contributor on this team. And I'm really glad that, we got a locker. Al-Farouq Aminu does nothing for me really, but I mean, I think at his best, he was a ball player. He was a rotational player. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if he never plays a single minute in a Spurs uniform.
Yeah.
Also,
he's gonna be like a Gorgie Zhang type of.
Exactly. But Thaddeus Young, to bring in a veteran leader kind of guy who isn't a guard, was super important for this team, because I was worried that we were going to bring in someone to be the locker room guy that was a shooting guard. And all of a sudden, Derek's minutes go down, Lonnie's minutes go down, and so on. But we kind of have an opening at the 4 spot. Keldon's our 3/4, but not a committed 4. And so I wouldn't mind giving Thaddeus Young 20, 25 minutes a game. Another guy that wouldn't be surprised if gets moved again, but I really hope we keep him, to be honest. So
sad days, you're not keeping him.
Why is that?
There's a lot of talks that we're moving him already, but nothing concrete. But I don't think we should move him.
I don't
if we
either.
do, there's just a hole there. And if we do, like, who are we?
I'm not like I need Samanic to get those extra 10 minutes. Like I think that he'll find time anyway, and I don't want Samanic to come in and take 30 minutes this season. I'm just not ready for that, and I don't think he is. So yeah, I really hope we keep him. And I think we will. To be honest, I don't think that. What are teams really going to give us for Thaddeus Young that moves our needle? A second round pick, like a good second round pick? That's the most I see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to wait till the deadline if we're going to move him. I don't think you should move him right away.
Yeah, I think that Thaddeus Young is the kind of guy
right now.
I think Thaddeus Young is the kind of guy that gets you a first round pick at the deadline when someone's like, shit, we have this gaping hole, but we're trying to win a championship. Yep, and I think that you can get a late first for him. So if anything, hold until then. I agree. Doug McDermott, 3 years, $42 million. I think that Doug McDermott just screams Spurs basketball, and it was super unsexy. And that was like our first big name signing. big name. See, I wouldn't even call him big name.
Douglas
signing.
Turman, the big superstar.
Yeah, but still moves without the ball really well, comes off of screens. He plays just like a bigger Gary Neal, which is kind of a deep cut for Spurs fans. He's just a big white Gary Neal. Plays defense, plays hard. High basketball IQ. He's not going to do anything that's gonna win you games necessarily, but he does the little things that just keep you in it. So I like that signing as well.
I like that signing because it addressed the biggest issue for the Spurs, which is spacing and shooting. Like we simply did not have it last year. Or haven't had it for a while, really. So, getting someone who can spread the floor and shoot the ball and move off ball and, not have the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
I think that's really great for them.
I agree. Brought back Bryn Forbes, which is I still can't find the deal at all. That's one of the few that hasn't been released. I'm sure it's more than the minimum. He just won a championship, and we had some money to spare. So, but anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Bryn Forbes guy. I'm not going to go on for 10 minutes about him, but I love him. I think that we have a little bit of time to spare to give to him, and he's probably the best shooter that we have on the team now. Honestly,
yeah. Besides Doug, besides McBuckets.
Yeah. I agree. Doug's probably better. Best shooting guard for sure.
Kyle's Mount Rushmore of NBA players consists of Bryn Forbes and Kyle Kuzma.
Bryn Forbes, Kyle Kuzma, and Bobby Portis.
Sad days, bro.
We signed Zach Collins, 2 years, $22 million. Is that right?
I forget they signed Zach Collins.
That's high. I was like, is that right? That's a really high number. Yeah, that's a little sketchy. Zach Collins has been healthy. I looked it up. He's played 155 of a possible 382 games in his career. That's a low number. That's a low percentage number for a 24-year-old. Sheesh.
Yeah, and it's his feet. For being a 7-footer, it's his feet that it hurts. So that's not good. But when he is healthy,
he's good. He's great. And he's young, as a lot of people putting out on Twitter. It's just more of an indication towards the youth movement in San Antonio. So totally cool with that. And Jock Landale, he's an Australian center. He kind of got shit on the Olympics, which is my first time watching him play live. And so I was like, oh, great. We got this guy who's getting fucking handled by the only USA player that doesn't look like he should be there, and Bam Adebayo. But, and so, nothing crazy there, but just another piece. I think that's it. So I like what the Spurs did. I think that it's kind of like the Magic to me, in that they left room for their players to grow, and they didn't do anything that was going to dominate it. But I also think that they haven't totally committed. I've been saying this for years and years, and me and Josh have gone back and forth on this all the time. I also don't think that they committed to full-on winning or full-on rebuilding. So I'm just going to give them a solid B, just because I don't think that they did anything to move the needle in either direction.
Yeah, and I don't think they will. They'll go to either side as long as Pop's there. They're going to try to win, but they're also going to try to develop their players. They're a weird franchise that has kind of tried to do both. Like, one of the only franchises that's tried to do both is develop their players while trying to win, which as a fan I appreciate, just because I want to see winning basketball, but I also want to get good draft picks. So it's kind of hard sometimes, but I think a B is fair.
This is like the definition of a retooling, not a rebuilding. I think that this is textbook retooling. Bunch of fucking tools here in San Antonio.
Hey, watch your little mouth, all right?
All right. Who's next, Josh?
Tell me. Whoa.
I am next.
What's up, Randy?
Oh, it's cool, bro. I never get fucking time to motherfucking talk.
Go ahead, talk about the Spurs, Randy.
Fuck
you
the Spurs.
You have to interrupt us.
Fuck the Spurs. Fuck everybody that lives for the Spurs. Spurs can suck a big fat
lives for the Spurs.
I'm a Rockets fan. Just kidding. Nah, I'm sad for y'all, bro. I'm sad for us too.
I think it was a good offseason. I'm not sad for us.
I'm not sad. I'm not sad.
Y'all are gonna suck, bro. Just with the Rockets are gonna suck.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be the Rockets.
Yeah, you could be my fucking Rockets.
We could start Alperen Şengün.
Also, who looked terrible at the Olympics, by the way. Looked god awful. Looked
decent tonight in the summer league. Looked decent, but we'll see.
I'll probably go.
Anyways, I got Chicago Bulls next. Probably one of the most talked about teams of the offseason so far.
Yeah.
I give the Chicago Bulls an A-. They're bringing back exciting and hopefully playoff basketball back to Chicago. Best signing that they had is Lonzo, 4 years, $85 million. I think couldn't be a more perfect backcourt with Zach LaVine.
How fucking long has the Lonzo to Chicago thing been going on?
It's been a long time. I
For
think
a
the whole
long
last year,
time.
all of last year. They wanted Lonzo or DeJounte.
And the offseason before.
Yeah. So they got Lonzo, 4 years, 85. They got DeMar DeRozan in a sign and trade, 3 years, 85, which is surprising because I didn't think DeMar's market was going to be a pay increase from what he was making. And then they got Caruso, 4 years, 37, and they got Tony Bradley on the minimum for 2 years. But yeah, I like Lonzo, I like Caruso, and I love DeMar DeRozan. I don't know how he fits on this team. I feel like Chicago was just like, let's just go all in on talent, regardless of fit, really. I mean, because having a lineup of DeMar, LaVine, and Vucevic on the floor just screams that you're going to give up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of points. But you have a lot of talent. So I think it's going to even out. And I think for Chicago, that's all you really need is, exciting basketball. DeMar's contract it's a lot to pay for someone who doesn't stretch the floor, who doesn't shoot, but you get a lot of playmaking. You get, one of the best, probably, I think he was the best ISO scorer, or maybe top 3 last year. So the most efficient. And then I like Caruso. I like AC Fresh there. I think he's going to be good.
Well-deserved contract for him too, baby.
It's gonna be nice to see what he actually is, not under the whole like LA lights. Because
he's gonna get the time.
He's gotten so much hype just because of he's like a celebrity there, he's the fun one there. And so it's gonna be interesting to see, put that aside, and you're still in a big market, so you're still gonna get attention, but put all that stupid Hollywood stuff aside and let's see if this dude can really hoop, at a competitive level. I think that DeMar also is really good LaVine insurance, because I think that this team got better, and that was what this was all about, is making sure that LaVine's happy. Man, that's basketball now. It's just making your star happy, and just hoping they don't leave. The Pelicans.
And I heard he had a lot of say in all of these signings.
As they should. I think that your star players should in today's league. And the Pelicans are shitting themselves right now. Just because of Zion, and because they're we got worse this offseason. But no, yeah, I think that DeMar is really good LaVine insurance in case he decides to leave. I think that he actually makes more sense for this team if LaVine leaves.
That team would be interesting if Alonzo, DeMar, Vucevic without LaVine. Yeah. But I think you don't want LaVine to leave no matter what. But.
Definitely. I really hope for DeMar. I think that he did an amazing job of adapting to the San Antonio situation. I think that he can adapt again. And man, imagine if we see DeMar just take 4 threes in the first game of next season. Because if DeMar, I think he can shoot the 3. It's all about willingness. If DeMar commits to shooting the 3 this season, that team becomes a lot different than we think they do right now.
For sure.
Who's
the coach in Chicago? Baby. Billy Donovan?
Yes. Yeah. I don't think he's not you wish they had a little bit more of a defensive-minded coach to go with this all-offense team. Not all offense, but clearly more offensive advantage team. I think that firing Billy Donovan and bringing in Steve Clifford would be interesting. This team doesn't need any offensive coaching. That's what Billy Donovan specializes in. They need to be forced to defend.
Imagine if Tibbs was still there.
Yeah, bring Tibbs back. That's what I was going to say, actually.
They bring Derrick Rose, baby.
Okay. Jesus, man. Randy's living in 2011. We're JJ Redick and Derrick Rose.
I also like that they committed to having Kobe White not be the starting point guard.
Anything to get Kobe White off the fucking floor.
He's a good 6-man. He is a good 6-man, to be honest.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I like him. I really do. It's just, I think it's a lot of inconsistency. I think that he's everything that people thought Trae Young was going to be. Just this guy who's lost out there, throwing the ball up at random times, turning it over.
He's just not a good pairing with Zach LaVine.
He's Chicago's Colin Sexton. He's like, this dude
That makes
clearly has talent, but like, is he gonna turn it into winning play?
Come over to Rockets, baby.
Rockets will take all your
Come
all
over to the
your,
Rockets, baby.
all your broken pieces, and we'll fucking figure it out. We'll either keep them or we'll trade them for less than they're worth. We'll figure it out.
Sad days, bro. Sad fucking days.
Josh, what did you give them? What was the grade?
An A-.
Okay, I agree with that. I think that I liked. Man, I would have gone higher probably. I liked their offseason more than anyone I did.
You can only go one higher.
A plus.
Yeah.
Or you just A and A.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I just thought that DeMar was just a
forgot how
little too
fucking
much.
grading works. I should have explained that in the pre-podcast session.
The only reason the minus is his DeMar's contract was a little much, but I mean,
Yeah.
I like him. I love DeMar.
Okay,
so.
that's fair. That's fair. All right,
Okay.
Randy, what you got?
The worst the worst team ever. So I have the Pacers. Their offseason fucking sucked. So they re-signed TJ McConnell to a 4-year, $35 million deal, and then Torrey Craig to a 2-year deal, $10 million. They lost Doug McDermott. The Pacers suck. Let's be honest. I gave them a fucking F.
Oh, dude.
Wow, that's a little harsh.
Yeah.
Just because, like, ever since PG's been gone, like, it's like the Cavs situation. Where the fuck are the Pacers? Fuck the
They got
Pacers.
Karras.
I think I like the Pacers. I disagree.
Karis LeVert, who just like almost had to retire.
Are you
because
heard
he had
about that
cancer.
too?
Yeah.
Or you heard that you don't have Karras LeVert?
We don't have nobody. Sad days. Guys.
Yeah, the
guys, I
Rockets should have
think-
kept it.
I know what the fuck. And Victor.
And they were
Guys, I
saying
think-
TJ McConnell. It's okay.
Yeah.
Who always
okay.
lights up the Spurs.
Yeah, I think that I'm excited. This is not anything to do with the free agency, but I'm excited for TJ Warren to come back. I think that having a healthy Karras and a healthy TJ, I think that they'll at least be in competition for, 6
And we'll
to
see
8.
if they trade Turner. Like, are they going to move Turner? Sabonis and Turner don't really work too well together
We've been hearing about Turner being moved for like 3 years now.
for a while now. So
He's
we'll
coming
see
to
what
the
they do. I
Rockets.
like their team. I like their team.
Jesus Christ.
Good thing I'm not-
We talked about this already, but for this team, I love Duarte. I think that it made so much sense to get a win now player. Duarte is probably the best win now guy available after like the top 5 picks. So I loved that, and I don't think they did anything to really hinder his opportunities. A lot of that, I keep saying that, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
I think that there was a lot of teams not doing too much and letting their roster grow from within.
Good thing I'm grading the free agency and not the team. So F.
Okay.
But
all
guys,
right.
I think they
Asshole.
should pick up though is Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart could help him a little bit. And
Still
then Reggie
unsigned,
Jackson.
right?
Yeah, still unsigned. I thought I saw something about him going back to they offered him a qualifying offer, but he obviously thinks he deserves more. He should stick to gaming. But it's cool.
That's my favorite 2021 insult for an athlete. It's like stick to streaming. Like that's the whole the Ben Simmons joke right now. It's like stick to Call of Duty.
Bro, Ben Simmons is fucking dog shit.
All right.
That dude sucks, man.
Let's
I can't
pump
wait.
the brakes.
I can't wait to get to that. Actually, that's my next team after this one. I have the Atlanta Hawks first. The Hawks were a whole lot of just running it back. They received DeLon Wright from the Kings in a trade. I thought that was good. I think he's gonna be a good end of the bench player for the regular season. But other than that, they re-signed Solomon Hill, they re-signed Lou Williams, they re-signed John Collins, and they extended Trae Young. So obviously the Trae Young one was obvious, but getting John Collins back, man, I think I was really excited to see him go somewhere else because I think that he was a little underutilized last season. He's kind of in the doghouse there. But I think that for their purposes, they weren't going to replace him with anything better. I think that they only could have gotten worse. So I'm really excited that they're running it back. This is my favorite team to watch towards the end of the playoffs. I wanted them to get in over the Bucks. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give them a B plus just for keeping John Collins and not forgetting that they just made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you didn't need to do anything extra.
I really wish John Collins would have went somewhere else, to be honest. I was hoping that they were going to do some type of sign and trade with him. To me, I think he would be a great San Antonio Spur.
There's a lot of
He's
that
fucking
was like
asshole.
our
You're just
big,
being a dick. You're just being a dick. You're not even.
No,
that
no,
was
no.
our big guy that we were really trying to get. That's what Spurs Twitter wanted the most. But
I thought he
and
would.
we had the
I
money.
thought he'd be a great Celtic. Honestly,
Yeah, I can see him with the Celtics too.
Seeing him and Jaylen Brown just fly up and down the court.
Yeah, good luck getting Collins the ball in Boston if he's like playing with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
That's true. Yeah, because that was his whole thing. Was like him and Trae Young kind of butted heads because Trae Young wouldn't give him the ball. So imagine two of those people in his way. No,
I
yeah.
wish the Rockets would have did something.
You know what? I'm gonna change this. Because I've given most of the teams that have just kind of ran it back and retained the status quo B's. So I'm gonna stick this to a B. I don't think this really did anything to deserve B plus. I'm gonna stick it with B. I think that they're perfectly okay.
Have you
And a
given
lot
a
of
team
people
a C?
think that.
No,
Yeah.
I've been only B minus to B plus.
I got
That's
2
my
C's.
range.
That's it.
There's a C coming up. Don't worry.
Okay, Daddy.
But there's a lot of people who think that John Collins is overpaid. A lot of people really didn't want to see him get that max.
Yeah,
But
someone was gonna pay it, man. Someone was gonna do it.
yeah.
And I think that
He's definitely overpaid. That was
you
too
just
much.
made it to the conference finals. You know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
He really didn't shine when he needed to in the conference finals, but he did sporadically through the year. I think he did it, but like when they needed him, he didn't. So
And he's
I was
young,
kinda
man.
Surprised.
I think that he is. I really think he's gonna be a late bloomer. I don't think that the John Collins that we've seen the past couple of years is gonna be the ones that we're looking at in 2 years from now. I think
When
that
he's
he's
a
gonna
Spur.
be. I think yeah. When the Spurs give them Doug McDermott and Bryn Forbes.
And Greg Popovich.
And Greg yeah, I think that John Collins is going to blossom into something different than we're seeing right now. So I think this deal will be fine in the end.
Is he in your MPJ category?
And at the end of the day, what is that category?
Well, you're so high on like
Not
Michael
good at
Porter.
defense.
My MPJ, Kyle Kuzma, and John Collins club. I gotta name that thing. I'm gonna name that players that I'm way higher on than anyone else.
Players that I'm waiting to
Forbes in
hit
there.
puberty in the league.
Yeah. And you know, Atlanta's not some sexy free agency destination, so I don't really see any avenues to get better if they let John Collins go. All right, that's it for them. Josh.
Me, okay, I got the Sacramento Kings. I gave them a C. I don't have really anything to say about them. They
Yeah.
re-signed Rashawn Holmes to 4 years, $55 million.
Which I thought was a good deal.
It's decent. I mean, it's a little bit much, but you know, he's a good player. I think he's.
I was surprised by his market. I thought he was going to get 18, 19 million a year.
Yeah.
Maybe I was the only one that thought that because I had him in fantasy and I was really excited.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a solid player and he's an energy guy, and I like the way he plays. Mo Harkless, 2 years, $9 million. Terrence Davis, 2 years, $6 million, which is not too bad. I like Terrence Davis.
Yeah.
And Alex Len, don't know how he's still playing basketball. 2 years,
Because he's tall.
$7.6 million.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about the Sacramento Kings. I
What'd
think
you give
I
them?
think they got a C. I think
Okay.
that they got like a good thing going with Halliburton and Fox. I don't know what to do about Bagley.
Trade his
And
ass.
it's weird that you got Mitchell there too. You got Davion Mitchell now. So you got a crowded backcourt. So we'll see what the Kings do. They were decent last season. I mean, they weren't really good, but like they're young guys who are promising.
All right, Randy. I love the awkward silence. I love it. Really, really good for the listeners.
So I got the Hornets. They signed Kelly Oubre, Ish Smith, and Mason
Ish.
Plumlee.
Ice Smith, everyone's favorite backup point guard.
They lost Cody Zeller, Devontae Graham, Malik Monk, which sucks. But they did also get LiAngelo Ball, who had a good game today. 16 points, baby.
I did watch him play. He didn't look bad.
LeVar told us.
The fact
You should've listened.
that made your cut for like news
Hey.
is hilarious. though.
Hey,
And is he even on the team? He's on the summer
No,
league team.
he's on the
Yeah.
summer league team. He
But
wasn't an acquisition.
he's definitely getting signed. Like, he's going to get signed.
Probably.
Yeah. Guys, I think they should put – you're going to get – go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think
He's
he's
gonna cut him
signed.
off.
We'll see though.
But I think a guy that they should bring in is Dennis Smith. I mean, he's a guy that could be decent for them. I mean, obviously he's not going to be that stud that everybody thought he would be. And then Wesley Matthews, a shooter that can do something for him. But my grade might surprise y'all.
Wait, can I I don't know, I guess actually.
Yeah, okay. I gave him an A.
Really?
I really like the Kelly Oubre signing. And I think, and the Mason Plumlee, I think the Hornets might be scary next season. LaMelo's nice.
I think they were scary this season.
I know they lost Devontae Graham, Malik Monk, but I don't think it's going to affect him. Leandro Ball's coming, he's going to score 20 a game. But
yeah, I think I'd give their draft an A, and I would give their signings more in the B range. But I don't think you're crazy. I don't think you're nuts for saying that.
I really wish they signed Lonzo. That would have been so dope. That would have been must-see basketball in Charlotte.
Yeah, I think Oubre's definitely going to back up Hayward, so he'll be off the bench. I don't think they really have room in their backcourt to sign Dennis Smith with Bouknight, Rozier, and LaMelo.
Dennis Smith is just a worse Bouknight.
I fucking forgot they had Terry Rozier. Holy shit.
Josh did too the other day, and I was like, dude, I forgot
they had Terry Rozier.
I'm riding the Rozier wave from last season, man. I loved him.
And then Hayward, you cannot count on his ass. You fucking touching me, sir. So
yeah, I heard about this somewhere. We haven't talked about them yet, I don't think. Have I done the Pelicans yet?
No,
I haven't.
No, we haven't talked about Pelicans.
So I'll save it for when I get to them. I'll save it.
Okay.
Is it somebody going to the Rockets or no?
No,
wait, do we have breaking news for the Rockets?
No, it's not. All right. It's my turn then? Yeah.
It is.
I'm going to do the Pelicans after this. I'm going to do the 76ers right now. 76ers, they re-signed Danny Green to a 2-year, $20 million deal. I think it's fine. I think it was necessary. I think that he's someone that you need in the playoffs. Every team needs their version of Danny Green. And they let go of George Hill. They signed Georgie Nang. They signed Andre Drummond to replace the Dwight Howard role, backing up Joel Embiid. I fucking hate Andre Drummond. I hate watching him play basketball. And I think that
Philadelphia is like, how can we make our locker room worse?
Yeah, I think that
bring in Andre Drummond.
This is weird. This is a weird opinion to have about someone you don't like. I think that Andre Drummond made more sense somewhere where he was the starting center. I think that Andre Drummond makes no sense coming in as your backup 7'2" center. Because I don't think it's the kind of situation where it's like, oh, cool, when Embiid comes out, you can play the same basketball. No, you can't. Andre Drummond is not that player anymore. Anyone who thinks so is living off of the 2016 version of this guy.
I feel like that's his market is a backup now. Like no one wants a center who doesn't stretch the floor and isn't really that talented offensively.
The last part of this is I really like the game that they're playing with Ben Simmons. I like Daryl Morey calling the Celtics and asking for Jason Tatum. I like him calling the Warriors and asking for 9 draft picks and their best young players, asking for DeJounte Murray and 5 first-round picks. And I love all that. I really think that Morey is going to come out on top of the situation. I think that someone's going to overpay for Simmons when they do. And it almost seems too much like negotiating for dummies, because he's, you're like, if you want to pay 80 for something, you're like, I'll give you $6,000 for that. Or like, if you want to pay 80 for something and you're like, I'll give you $5 for it. And just hoping that like, you're so off that you're going to be in the middle somewhere. But it seems a little like too good to be true, but I really think that it's going to work. Honestly, I think that he's going to get a decent package for Ben Simmons. I just really, really hope that he doesn't think that he can just bring Ben Simmons back into this locker room and everything's going to be fine.
I don't know. It's never going to be fixed.
We have to remember that Joel Embiid and Doc Rivers blasted him an hour after the game in a press conference. And Joel Embiid said the game changed when we're refusing to dunk the ball wide open. And Doc Rivers said, I don't know what you want me to say. He heard us. And I think that Ben Simmons clearly image obsessed, at least image concerned, if not obsessed. And I don't think this is going to work again. I think there's no way. Apparently, he's ignoring calls from the front office when they're trying to talk to him about resolving this. And this is going to work. And so hopefully teams don't use that against them in leverage with Morey.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that is going to be leverage. You know, if he's being a
Yeah.
little bitch and a little diva, the people are just going to hang up the phone. And I mean, did Morey negotiate the Harden trade out of Houston? Or was he
No.
gone
No.
already?
Yeah, he
He
was
was
in
with
Philly last
Philly.
year. He
Okay.
almost renegotiated a Harden deal to bring him in.
Yeah, that's right.
And he fucked that
I
up.
don't,
So it's cool.
I don't really know where Ben Simmons goes if it's not for Damian Lillard or
Yeah.
like I just
Or
can't.
or
I
or
just don't
CJ
know.
McCollum and picks.
Yeah, I just see Portland. No, definitely not Houston. But I mean, you know, Golden State.
Jesus,
is a,
man,
is a
you're gonna have
highly
like
rumored,
a collection of broken pieces. Yeah,
but Golden State apparently that wants Simmons or they're
I-
interested in him.
I don't get that, man. Unless Draymond Green is no longer going to play for your team, you cannot have two of those guys. You can't have two point guard de facto center guys. You know, like that's not going to work.
I feel like you do it if you're Golden State and if you don't have to give up Draymond, Clay, or Steph. I feel like you do it just for a talent perspective.
Yeah.
But we'll see where he goes.
Other than what I kind of like what Morey is trying to do with Simmons here, I'm going to give them a C+ because I don't think that they did anything to rehabilitate themselves. But I also don't like bringing in Andre Drummond. I don't think Niang does anything for him, and there's still no Simmons move. So until then, this is going to have to stay in the C range.
We'll see.
I also think Danny Green is a little bit of an overpay. I think that he's declining. He's shown decline every single year since Toronto.
Trust the process, baby.
The process is,
Man, I wonder if Sixer
I do
fans
not
are,
trust the process.
I wonder if Sixer fans are still using that.
They
Like,
do,
trust the
definitely.
process, baby.
Fucking definitely.
That's fucking hilarious.
Is it my turn or is it?
Your turn, Daddy.
Yeah, your turn.
All right, so I got the Denver Nuggets here. I gave them a solid B. Decent depth signings. That's all they really did is add depth. You know, they re-signed Will Barton, 2 years, $32 million. When Will Barton's healthy, I think he's great for the Nuggets.
They bring back
They got.
Austin Rivers.
I don't have that on here. I don't know if they did.
I hope
But
so.
I don't know.
They're gonna fucking need him.
Yeah. But they got both the Greens. They got JaMychal Green and Jeff Green, which are, you know, decent. I mean, a slight overpay. JaMychal Green's getting 2 years, 17. Jeff Green's getting 2 years, 10.
I think that's a good deal for Jeff Green.
For Jeff Green, it's good. For JaMychal Green, it's a little much.
Yeah.
But you know, that's great depth for Denver. I don't know what this means for Michael Porter Jr. Obviously, he's probably going to be starting, but
They're gonna be interesting,
But-
man. I don't know because you know Murray's best case scenario I would say is April, and that's still not going to be a fully re-inclined.
yeah.
So I don't know, man. I think that they're going to really be holding on to the 6 to 8 range, and then could be like a dangerous team in the playoffs if the 2 or 3 seed isn't ready to go.
I think
That's-
Porter Jr. needs to have a big year. If he doesn't have a big year this year, I trade him. I get value from him and trade him.
Really, is this his last year of that deal?
I think
This-
he might be one more after this, but I mean, if he's not helping you when Jamal Murray's out,
Yeah,
he's
for
not
real.
stepping up,
And
then
I-
I think you just.
I think he will. I think that he proved a lot in playoffs. I really do. I think that
Kyle
he-
is a huge Michael Porter Jr.
Yes, I am.
I know. He loves him.
You couldn't just say huge MPJ guy. You had to add dick sucker on the end of that.
Because you are a big sucker of dicks for him.
I think that he wavered a little towards the end of the playoffs when the moment got a little too right. But I mean, what are you gonna do, man? He wasn't expecting to come in with this moment, and I think that
Mhm.
in that first round, especially, dude, he had a couple 30-point games, and this is the last season, so
Yeah, not denying his scoring ability. Like he's a bucket. Like he can get
Yeah.
a bucket. It's just like, does he know where to be on defense? Does he know the switches? Does he know
Yeah. And of
that's
course,
just what it is with
the
Michael
health
Porter.
thing is always concerning.
I mean, he's been
so,
relatively healthy.
Yeah,
since,
just like when you came into the league at 20 years old and you already had like 2 back surgeries, at
Mhm.
some point that shit's going to come back to you. You just
Yeah.
hope it's not going to be when he's on your team. He'll be eligible for a 5-year, $173 million deal. Extension.
I don't know if he gets that with Jokic and Murray on the team. It'll be interesting. We'll see.
I don't know who else is gonna fucking go to Denver. That's my thing. That's how you always
Yeah.
have to think about it, is who's gonna go to Denver. But Jesus Christ, that's $34 million a year. That's a lot of fucking money. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe you're looking at like maybe 25 to 30. Cool. What did you give them?
A B. Solid B.
Okay. Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. All right, Randy, what you got?
You know, I got the Miami Heat, the big studs. You know, they're studs. You know, they're studs. You know.
Is that all you got to say about that? Is that what you wrote down? Is that all you got to say? I'm waiting for more banter to come my way, but I'm not getting anything.
So they re-signed Jimmy Butler to a max contract extension, re-signed Duncan Robinson to a 5-year extension, made him the highest undrafted paid guy, which he definitely deserved it. They gave PJ Tucker a 2-year, $50 million deal, which I think is kind of overpaying, but I like the fit. They gave Victor Oladipo the 1-year deal, minimum deal, which is surprising. Like, you're thinking about Victor, you know, what he was a few years ago, and now he's getting minimum deals.
It's a prove it year for him. It's a prove
Definitely,
it year.
definitely. And then guys they lost Goran Dragic, which obviously is sad for Miami fans. And then Justice Winslow, who I could give a shit about. And if you're Miami, you probably don't care that you lost him. Guys, I
Winslow
think
was in Memphis.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in Memphis.
Okay. Sorry guys that I fucked that up.
Well, fucking let's start over. God damn it. What if I was like, hey, what if I was like, man, I'm not recording? What I do? We'll come back tomorrow.
You just start it. It says this is now recording. When you hear it now.
You just hear me go, and then you hear recording, and then it goes recording in progress.
Must have been reading like some shit from like 2018 on Winslow.
Oh my God.
But guys, I think they should.
2018.
He's like, all I hear is like, so they drafted Justice Winslow.
And did they get rid of Dragic? I thought he's still there. I thought they haven't traded him.
Yeah,
they traded him.
He is with the Toronto Raptors.
He's a Raptor.
The Raptors were. There was
Oh yeah, that's right.
And we'll get to this. The Raptors
About buying him out. Yeah.
They were gonna flip him or buy him out, but they're actually gonna hold on to him. But we'll get to that.
And then they did a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry. They gave him a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
3 years, $85 million. And I think it said it was fully guaranteed.
Really? I was going to ask you that if the 30 years guaranteed, because that was the Chris Paul thing. Was everyone was like, oh my God, that much money, but Chris Paul is only half guaranteed. But 3 years guaranteed, Jesus, that's gonna look bad on the 30 year. I promise you.
It's probably gonna look bad after the. It's gonna look bad on the first year. But the guys, I think they should have. Guys, I think they should bring in is DeMarcus Cousins or Paul Millsap. You know, guys that really are not going to do much. You know, but those are guys
I like
that
Boogie there.
I mean, I want to see Boogie get a ring, but I gave them an A+ for the free agency so far. I think they definitely made the team better. Obviously,
A+.
I like the Heat. I think fuck it. Heat to the finals.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. I think what did Duncan get? What's his yearly?
I think it's 5-year, $95 million.
Yeah, I think that's
5-year.
fine for someone that's built like in the direction the league is
Yeah,
headed.
I mean, I would say like I thought his ceiling was like 18 mil, but like he's getting like 19, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
19.
Yeah, I mean, Doug McDermott's getting on like 14.2. You know, like I think I'm
Shooters are
fine.
getting paid this offseason.
Yeah.
Fucking
Definitely.
Tim Hardaway Jr. got I don't know,
A bag.
4 years, 72 million.
Yeah,
I think Duncan deserved it though, man. He's a fucking shooter.
yeah,
Yeah,
and he
That's all he can do, though.
he made it
That's
very
okay, baby.
clear that he needed to get paid. He's 27 years old. You know, this is the guy who's one of the older second contract guys in the league, and so he couldn't afford to take another prove it contract. You know, he needed to get paid now. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
I'm curious to see how Tyler Hero like works with this iteration of the Heat.
I think they're gonna trade him, to be honest.
I don't. I think that he's maybe if someone. I think that Tyler Hero is going to be the guy that they hold on to when this whole Lowry thing sours and they need another star. I think Hero's your trade bait then.
Yeah.
They're really clinging on to him because he's the only guy they have left that's their big trade bait. You know, because I think that Duncan Robinson was also part of that, but now that he has his massive contract,
Yep.
it's gonna be very specific. So I think that your big things left were You had Robinson, you had Hero, you had Achua, who Achua's now gone. Robinson's overpaid a little bit. And so now Hero's your big chip piece.
I feel like if you're trading for a star, that Robinson contract is going to come in handy. I mean,
That's
18
true.
For
That's
a
true.
star, that's a good filler for salary.
I agree. All right. I have the Pelicans next.
Ooh,
Um,
Worst
so
team of the offseason.
I'm gonna tell you right now before I name any of their moves that I'm gonna give them an F. And which is it more in the D range probably, but I was really upset about this team, so I'm gonna give them an F. They received Devontae Graham in a sign and trade. I think Graham is fine. I don't think he's someone that you should be paying for the privilege to sign. I think that if he falls to you in free agency, then cool. But they paid to receive this man. They also had the trade that we discussed last podcast, where they received Jonas Valanciunas, and they essentially paid to receive Valanciunas, who, as we discussed, is probably a better player than Steven Adams. I don't know if he's necessarily a better fit than Steven Adams. I think that they're both pretty poor fits. Josh, can Valanciunas really shoot the ball?
I don't think so.
Nothing that makes you want to remember it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he can hit an occasional three, but I don't think he's like a shooter.
So, that's more than you can say about Steven Adams. So that's good, I guess. But I also think that he wants the ball more than Steven Adams. And so at least with Zion, Adams wasn't going to be like, dude, I'm not getting enough touches. And I think that Valanciunas is someone that is going to be upset if he's not getting the ball in the post enough.
Graham and Valanciunas are both like ball. They need the ball.
Exactly. So. They're not guys that are. I think that.
And you have Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. If you want to talk about someone who needs the fucking ball,
he needs to get out of New Orleans. Ingram needs to get
when you had Steven Adams and you had Lonzo. First of all, let's just strip it down to the bare minimum. They traded in Lonzo Ball for Devontae Graham. And I think that's fucking insane. But maybe Lonzo just didn't want to stay there anyway. And that was the best you're going to get. But I think go back to last year, you have Lonzo and you have Steven Adams. Those are two guys who are willing to do some dirty work, play defense, and they're not going to cry for the ball. You traded those guys in for two guys who need the ball in their hands to be the most effective. And that's the main reason I'm going to give it an F. And look, Zion and his camp made it very clear that it's possible that they don't sign. They're the first fucking guy to not sign their huge second contract as a rookie. They made it clear that was a possibility. This team didn't get better. And not only did they not get better, they got worse. So fucking hard F. Come to Houston, baby.
Hey, Zion to Houston,
Zion.
baby.
Zion to Houston, baby. That's going to be the best team in the.
All right.
Zion.
Didn't I used to always do that? I would call him.
You
Zion.
always just call him Zion, and I'm like, that is not his name.
I used to argue, and I was like, it can be either way, but obviously now it's like so fucking Zion.
Zion's definitely leaving. He's out of that shit.
The man, if I was a Pelicans fan, you had this like savior in AD, right? And then it's soured pretty quickly. And the first pick, they were projected the 5th pick that year. And all of a sudden,
it wasn't the 5th.
It was 8. It was like
and
lower
all of a
than
sudden
that.
the first
It was like 13.
The first round pick's just bouncing on your balls, and you're gonna fumble it like to the highest degree. I think that,
and it's like the best possible player that has come
it's the
in.
generational. It's like the fucking Andrew Luck of the NBA. Like we've never seen anything like this in my life.
Since LeBron James.
Yes, literally since LeBron, he is the highest touted prospect. We're not
Andrew
talking
Luck, the Zion Williamson of.
Yeah, I think so, dude. Wait, do you not know about that? Andrew Luck is like
no. Andrew Luck was pretty
ever.
he was pretty. I didn't know about his draft coming into.
It was
the next Peyton.
The NBA, yeah, exactly. In the NBA, it was LeBron and Zion. In the NFL, it was Peyton and Andrew Luck, and now it's Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
Dude, I'm so fucking excited for football. I'm ready to end this fucking podcast and talk about football.
Fuck the NBA.
Well,
so excited.
I'll make it go a little faster because I have 3 teams left: OKC, Minnesota, and Memphis.
They're all
did
Fs.
absolutely nothing. They all did nothing. I'm not gonna give them a grade because OKC re-signed Mike Muscala. Like that's all they fucking did.
A+.
So I'm just not gonna give them a grade because I don't want to shit on them for no reason. They didn't do anything. Those 3 teams didn't do anything.
I like where this headed. I can do my next 6 teams in 1 grade. All right, just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm all out of teams.
Okay.
That's all my teams.
Okay. I'll wrap up too then. All right, I have the
What the fuck?
Knicks. I have the Knicks.
It's
Oh, I
Randy's turn.
skipped you. Sorry, Randy. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Go
I got,
ahead. Go
I
ahead,
got
man.
excited. Okay, cool. I got excited. So the Knicks are, as I mentioned earlier, they're the prime team for let us know when your superstar wants to leave, because I think
Mhm.
that everyone is really, really shitting on their moves, and people have to realize that these aren't moves because they think that this is what's going to help them win. These are tradable contracts. If I can fucking find the Knicks on my sheet.
I'm glad they
Um,
re-signed D Rose though.
Yeah, so Derrick Rose is, I know, the big one that you're excited for. They re-signed Derrick Rose. Oh Jesus, hold on. Okay, I just fucked up. Randy, go.
Okay.
I fucked up. I fucked up the Knicks on my sheet. Now I have to look
So
up
you,
all
you
their
want me?
fucking
You want me? You
contracts.
want me
Yeah.
to tell
Go.
all? All right. So I have the Blazers next.
This is
They
great.
signed.
This is
They
great
re-signed Norman
podcasting, by the way.
Powell, Ben McElmore, and Cody Zeller. Time out. I just want to let you know Kyle said he was going to do better, and now he's fucking up. I think I'm the leader.
He said he was going to be better, and he's not.
We lied. Anyway, so I got the Blazers. They didn't really do much. I gave them a C minus. Obviously, I'm a big. I think the Blazers are my second team in the NBA. They lost Melo. I think they're about to trade McCollum. I think that's coming very soon. Guys, I think they should sign or try to trade for Lauri Markkanen. I mean, if you want Damian Lillard to be a Portland Trailblazer, bring talent.
You got to sign Lauri Markkanen if you want to keep Dame.
I mean, you want somebody, man. You got to bring somebody. I mean, fucking bring LaMarcus Aldridge back. He's coming out of
gotta
retirement.
sign Lauri Markkanen.
I mean, shit. Who are they gonna bring? Dennis
They're
Schroeder?
not going to bring anybody. They're going to lose Damian
Oh,
Lillard. That's what's going to happen.
Funny.
Yeah, probably. He's coming to the Rockets. It is what it is. So I'm gonna give them a C minus. The next team, I had the Jazz. They signed Hassan Whiteside, Rudy Gay, re-signed Mike Conley, and then they got Eric Pascal in a trade. I think it was a trade. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
I don't even know why the fuck I didn't give them a grade. I think this is where I almost fell asleep. I'm gonna give them a B plus. I really like re-signing Mike Conley. I like bringing Rudy Gay in, even though Kyle might cry.
Yeah, dude.
Hassan
Rudy
Whiteside-
Gay, that one hurt to lose, to be honest with you. I love Rudy. I really like what he brings to the game.
Hassan Whiteside, he's not what everybody thought he would be, but he's a big guy that's going to get you boards. And then Mike Conley, he's your leader. You can't, I mean, if you let Mike Conley go, Donovan Mitchell is going to be your guy, and I think he's a gamer too. So don't let them fucking Twitch NBA players lead your team. You're going to suck. I'll give him a B plus. And then the last team I had was the Houston Rockets. My Houston Rockets. We signed Daniel Thies. I definitely did not like that.
Daniel Thies.
Or T's, whatever
Daniel
the fuck you say.
Tice.
Boy, got them
Thies.
thighs.
You know, I'm American.
I do like Thies on that team, actually.
I don't know, man.
I do like I like that signing.
Yeah, I bet y'all do. Fucking Spurs fans. Bet you fucking do. We don't need bigs.
I actually wanted him on the Spurs.
The
I wouldn't be
bigs.
mad if he was on
Oh,
the
I
Spurs.
would.
Fuck bigs, bro. Fuck bigs. Fuck bigs. Fuck bigs. Fuck bigs. Fucking Daniel Tice, where the fuck you say? He ain't gonna help the Houston Rockets win the fucking championship. We're gonna be a
No
fucking
one
lottery
is.
pick. Yeah, we're gonna be a fucking lottery pick
James
next
Harden
year.
couldn't.
I'm fucking sad as hell, bro. I was waiting for this team to come up on my list because I'm here to fucking say I'm sad as hell, bro. Sad days, bro. It's fucking sad days, bro.
Yeah, the
You
draft
let
was
go-
way more exciting for them than free agency.
Yeah, y'all
Exactly.
fucking struck gold in the draft.
Yeah, our young guys are pretty good. I like our young guys. I
Yeah.
like Jalen Green a fuck ton. Jalen Green jersey on the way. I like Josh Christopher too. I think he's gonna be a fucking good guy for us. And then we got some French guy. I like his accent.
Sengun.
Yeah. Alperian Sengun.
What did you give the Rockets? What was your grade?
I have it at a C minus, but I'm gonna go lower. It's a fucking D for me.
Wow.
God, bro, we have cap space. Now we have cap space.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Are you gonna bring in a veteran?
Hell yeah, go fucking tell Kawhi you're gonna give him all the money you have.
Dude, y'all could give Kawhi the key to your city and he wouldn't be there. I don't know. I hate to tell you this, but he's never gonna play for a Texas team again.
We have
It's
fucking
too close to San Antonio.
We have
smells.
John Wall, a guy that's getting paid like fucking $70 million a year to fucking
Yeah.
shit bricks.
John Wall is still like a top 5 most paid player in the NBA. I think
I think he's like top fucking 2.
and he ain't too.
I fucking hate the fucking Rockets right now, man. I'm sad
right.
days, bro.
I'll finish up.
Yeah,
Let's
I
give
bet
Randy
you
some
do
time
wanna
to cry.
finish.
Oh Jesus. I have the Toronto Raptors, my last team. They waived Aaron Baines after he had life-ending surgery, which was a great piece of business for them. They received Goran Dragic and Achua. I think Achua is a great piece for them. Dragic as well, dude. I think that I'm actually a little weirded out. I heard this idea the other day that you put Dragic back on the Heat, and you're talking about playoff basketball, right? Are you that much better with Lowry than you are than Dragic in the playoffs? Because I feel like Dragic always shows up in the playoffs. Like, I don't think you're that much better, and he's younger.
Yeah.
You know, and I never really thought about that because it's Kyle Lowry, it's a big name. You know, he just won a championship a couple years ago.
I would think Goran Dragic is a little bit better shooter too. No.
Yeah, hey, Lowry's
Definitely.
shooting last offseason or last playoffs was or last season. I mean, was sketcy, like super sketchy.
Yeah, he had a weird
It's
year last
sketchy.
year.
He hasn't been a great shooter since his playoff year, his championship year. I mean, but I think that Chua is a great trade asset or just a great piece to have going forward. They also re-signed Kem Birch, just another value deal. I like
Good
Birch a
player.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say about Dragic? That the decision to keep him around, I think, is good. I think that they're going to be more of a competing team than people think. They obviously gave up really early last year. That was super clear that they were around like the third mark of the season that they just decided this isn't happening. Pascal Siakam had a lot of how should you say focus issues. There was this whole thing about Siakam as he came up in the league was that he has this drive, and it's like him and Kawhi paired really well because they were both just head down balling. But he kind of lost that, and so I think that if that comes back, and I believe they still have Gary Trent under contract, I think that they have a chance to be a low-tier playoff team at least. And Dragic knows how to step it up in the playoffs.
Yeah, Gary Trent got paid this offseason.
Yeah.
With Toronto. So
They
that's good for him.
also waived Rodney Hood, which
Sad.
is at least a little weird. I think Rodney Hood's a good player. I don't know what the reason was for that. I guess it's just too much money guaranteed, and that was the end of his guarantee date. But that is all I have for the Raptors, and that's all of my teams.
Well, I'm gonna be
I
honest.
think you'll never be allowed
Finish
in
the
New York
Knicks.
City if we don't talk about the Knicks. Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah, what
didn't.
the hell,
Oh
bro?
shit! Yeah. I never went back to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
made me go.
I pulled them back up here. So, sorry. Their deals are Evan Fournier, 4 years, $78 million. Derrick Rose, 3 years, 43. Nerlens Noel, 3 years, 32. Reggie Bullock, 3 years, 30. Alec Burks, 3 years, 30. Taj Gibson, 1 year, veterans minimum. Holy shit.
I
That's a
like
whole
all
Did I
lot
that.
of-
fuck up? Because I had Bullock going to Dallas.
You're correct. You're correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I
thought
read
I
that
fucked
literally
up.
wrong.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 years,
I
30
was looking
million.
at the
Bullock is out.
2018.
You're right. Yeah, I'm just looking
Look
at
at the same website.
Reggie Bullock's draft year. Yeah, me and Randy keep getting mixed up here on this fucking website. No, I think that Derrick Rose, 3 years, 43. Nerlens Noel, 3 years, 32. Clearly overpays. I don't care what anyone
Nerlens
says
Noel
about
got how much?
3 years, 32 million.
That's too much.
Yeah,
God.
it's too much. And I'm sorry, 14
And he's
million.
going to be your starter.
14
Yeah.
million is too much for Derrick Rose.
Holy- whoa. Chill out, bro.
You mean 2011 league MVP Derrick
one of the
Rose?
best ever?
But like I said, tradable contracts. I think Alec Burks for 10 million a year is perfectly fine. I think that Alec Burks is a great guy off the bench to handle the ball for you. I think that also Fournier was really important for them. I think that it's starting to get weird because it's the Knicks, right? This is New York basketball, Madison Square Garden, and it seems like they can never bring in the free agent. Durant, both times he was a free agent in the past 5 years, he wouldn't even meet with them. And it's the Knicks were convinced both times he was coming to New York. And
KD and
they
Kyrie, baby.
They can't even get the meeting. And so it's starting to get weird. So I think that Fournier was super important for them to just lock down, just because he's that piece that you need once you have the team together. Fournier is not going to drive the team, but he's someone that you definitely need around your best 2-3 players.
I think seeing DeMar's deal, that Fournier's is like decent.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nah,
I think what
he's-
DeMar got,
he's getting 10 million less than DeMar,
yeah,
and he's
over,
28
like,
years old.
one more year too. So,
Yeah.
and he can
Um,
shoot the ball, you know?
Yeah. I like what he does for the team. And I think that Like I said, when Lillard is like, all right, I'm fucking done, I'm ready to go, you are all of a sudden matching his contract with Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. Or every team loves to bring in Derrick Rose, right? You can tell your fans, look, we got Derrick Rose, watch this. And so
Yeah, we got
like
D-Rose, baby.
yeah, so Derrick Rose to Portland. And they've done a really good job. Yeah, pencil it in. They've done a really good job of maintaining their draft picks and future assets. Probably because no one wants to fucking go there. But so whenever the Blazers are ready, all of a sudden you got matching salary and you got Emmanuel Quickly and you got 4 draft picks. Fucking
I
send
think
them over.
the Knicks' biggest move is definitely acquiring Kemba. Like, I think that's just like,
Jesus Christ. Yes.
Yeah, how'd you
Their
forget
best
about the
move
Kimbo,
ever.
baby?
Kemba Walker bought and negotiated a buyout of OKC, which was a great piece of business for his camp, and re-signed for $8 million 2 years. 16 million 2 years.
It's a great deal for New York.
Great fucking deal, man. I completely forgot about that. I think Kemba Walker is worth Fournier money, and so
Yeah.
to get him on a prove it contract, it's like this isn't this isn't someone that you're like, we need to see what you've got. Like, yeah, he's hurt off and on and off, but it's still Kemba Walker. Like, this guy was still bordering superstar 3 years ago.
I was really low on them before they signed Kemba,
Mhm.
before they got Kemba, but I think that signing made their offseason like not
because
terrible.
at the very worst, if you don't get your superstar this season, you're still running it back off of all the momentum of last year with a great defensive coach. You got Fournier, you got
Two scorers,
you got Kemba Walker, you got Julius Randle.
And that was their problem in the playoffs. They couldn't score. They couldn't
Yeah.
score. They couldn't score the ball. Randall couldn't do it by
Yeah.
himself. So adding Kemba and Fournier, just 2 scorers, I think that's good for New York. Like,
Yeah.
You got RJ
Um,
Barrett, baby. Don't forget about RJ.
Yeah.
the Canadian boy.
I'm going to give, I just realized also I didn't give my Toronto grade. I think the Raptors are a C, and I think that the Knicks are an A. I think I'm going to give them a straight A just because they left open. They didn't use their cap in foolish ways. They used it in tradable contracts, and I think that they really, really, really have left the door open for a big trade that has been long awaited for New York fans.
You want to know who it's for? Zion.
Dude, man.
Zion wants to
but
be a Knick, bro.
They
What
would.
I'm
They
hearing
wouldn't.
is-
What about? I don't know how this works with second year with restricted free agents. Can you do sign and trade to the restricted free agents?
I mean, if you sign him and trade
You
him,
can't.
they did
You
with
can't,
Lonzo,
right? Yeah,
right?
Laurie Markkinen,
Mhm.
Lonzo. Yeah. How about a Zion sign and trade next offseason to the Knicks?
a lot of people are saying Knicks are the team. So that would be
Shit,
RJ
dude.
and Zion back together, or is RJ probably in that deal?
nah, hell nah. He ain't that worth
Nah,
that much.
I disagree. I think it's I think RJ's in the deal. I think RJ
Julius
RJ
Randle instead of RJ.
4 firsts, matching salary and quickly for Zion. Would you say no to that? If Zion said I'm not coming back to New Orleans, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not going to play for you again. How many deals are better than RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, 4 firsts, Derrick Rose, and Nerlens Noel? How many deals are
It
better
just
than that?
depends if a superstar is available.
Yeah.
Like if a
What about-
superstar is
but
available.
Superstar for superstar swaps are so uncommon.
Yeah.
I can't even name the last one. I don't remember.
Harden
Yeah.
for Oladipo.
You can't for Oladipo. He's not a superstar if you can't say his name.
How do you say it, sir?
Oladipo.
Sorry.
It's like, all right, fair enough.
All right,
That's another one. Whoever had the Heat, they resigned. You didn't mention that they fucking resigned Victor Oladipo to a veterans.
Yeah, he
minimum.
did.
Yes, I did, bitch.
Oh, you did? Good job. Good job. All right, guys. Good podcast. My
Just
apologies.
calling out each other. You didn't say this. You
Yeah, and
motherfucker.
so now that we finished, I'm gonna go over my list of everything that you guys did wrong.
Next
No,
week the fun starts, baby.
Yes, football. I'm so fucking tired of basketball. I'll be honest. I like not watching basketball, but talking about it. I love talking about football so much more. Josh, me and Randy talked about this last week. Football is so much better for weekly podcast creation because it happens once a week. You get on the very next day, and everything just happened like 12 hours ago, you know?
Mhm.
Like we just fucking watched it unfold. It's really good to get instant reactions because we're not waiting. Something doesn't happen on like Tuesday and you're like, fuck, we
Yeah.
can't talk about this until next Monday. So yeah, I'm fucking hyped for football, man. All these
Dallas Cowboys, baby.
all these Cowboys training camp videos with the Rams, dude. The Aaron Donald and Connor Williams fight.
Yeah, I saw that.
CD's freaking absolutely losing Ramsey in the secondary. I know
Oh
you saw
my
that
God.
video. You saw him juke
know
the
you saw
shit
that
out of
shit.
Ramsey.
Are y'all getting chubs?
Oh, I've been having chubs.
Yeah, I got one. I got one.
Looking straight down.
Hey,
All right, guys.
Jameis Winston, 5,000 yards, 20 interceptions, 40 touchdowns. Don't sleep on him.
one LASIK eye surgery.
He has
um,
2.
Do you guys have any final notes, main takeaways from free agency?
Nah, man. Houston Rockets.
It's
Next one up.
It's a little boring. How would
Rockets
you
and
rate
7.
the entertainment value of this free agency, Josh?
F.
It was a B. No great names, but like it was exciting when it was
A
happening.
couple of surprises at least, right?
Yeah,
DeMar to the Bulls and shit like that.
yeah. I really didn't think the Spurs would do it, but
Randy, what would you do? What would you give it?
I give it a C because, basketball's been just so boring lately.
I miss the I think sign-in trades are huge now. This was the first year.
it's the next wave.
Yeah,
Where you're just gonna see sign and trades.
because there have been a few, but yeah, the fact that I just came up with I didn't just say Zion to the Knicks. I said Zion sign and trade to the Knicks, right? Like that's the best way to do things now because you don't need your disgruntled player to like your team. You can still make something work for everyone.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a great way. It's a great way for teams to recover from losing their star, which I think is really important. No one's going to be fucked. The Pelicans aren't going to be fucked when Zion inevitably wants to leave.
I mean, they are going to be fucked.
Yeah.
They'll be
Fucked.
fucked.
Yeah, fucked a little bit.
They'll
but
be in
at least-
Vegas.
At least with some first. Yeah, they'll be in Vegas. The Pelicans fans don't
I
worry about
mean,
anymore.
sign and trade, you're going to have all these investigations.
Sign and trade the New Orleans Pelicans to Las Vegas.
Houston's
y'all.
getting
Really good
Fine.
podcast. A lot of fun. Guys, review us, rate us, give us your honest opinions. Don't leave us a 4-star with no fucking comment. Tell me why you fucking
Pussy.
hate me. Tell me why you hate me, please.
Yeah, pussy.
We'll be back next week. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll either come back.
NFL.
Well, yeah, we'll either come back with more positional rankings or we'll go ahead and do our total team wins over under. So either
Or,
way, we'll
fantasy
come back
football
with one
mock
of those.
draft. Either way, fantasy football mock draft.
Oh yeah, true. I really like
We
my
can
fantasy football
get
team.
we can get Josh on here. We can get fucking Jake. We can get the other Jay.
Yeah,
Steven.
there's a lot of J guys that come on the podcast.
We got
All right,
like
y'all.
7 dudes.
We will see y'all next time.
7 dudes, 1 cup.
Later.